Hello and welcome to this week tutorial. In this week tutorial, we'll be creating a cool and simple project. It will be the pop-up modal. This is the finished project. Have a button, and once I click it, we have this nice background overlay and this nice modal right here. If I click outside of this image and the overlay, it goes away. I click again. It shows. You see what this nice animation. It's gonna have a lot of features. For example, to close this, I can click on the image. It won't close, but when I click on this image, it doesn't go away. But as soon I click on the overlay, it goes away. Also, we can close the modal by pressing the escape key on the keyboard. Right now, I'm pressing it, and it goes away. So we're gonna be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello, my name is Marius, and on this channel I create web design and development tutorial. So if there's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. In this week tutorial, I said in the introduction, we'll be creating a cool modal right here. When we click a pop-up with this nice animation, when we click outside of the image, it goes away. And when we press the escape key on the keyboard, it also goes away. So we start with the HTML, just the HTML boilerplate. I have my CSS right here. We go over it. Once we start styling, and just have one image inside the image folder, and my JavaScript, which I link to right here. So let's start with the HTML. I linked to the CSS already. So let's start with HTML. I'll just create a container, a div with a class called container. Inside of my container, we're going to add a button and create an element with a class called button, and then another class called modal button. And we leave the href empty, and then inside here we just say open modal, and then we're going to give it a custom attribute called data target, and this is the value which say first modal. We'll be using this value inside the HTML, and then outside of the container we will actually create the actual modal. Where the little comment right here, create a class called modal with another ID called first modal. So the ID is the same with this data target right here. So we have a div with class called modal, and then also have an ID first modal which corresponds to this. So inside here we have another div with class called modal _content. Inside here we put the image. So image, we go inside our images folder and choose the image right here. Click save. We get the button right here, and the image right here is huge. We're gonna style it with CSS, so it's gonna look nice. So we move to the CSS right here. So inside the CSS, I have my custom variable right here for the colors. The primary is a very dark blue. I have my universal selector where I remove the padding, the margin, and set up backsizing to border bars on every element. For the HTML, I set a font size to be 10 pixels because I'm going to be using RAM. So one RAM will be 10 pixels. And then for the body, I set a font family to the Roboto. I already had a Roboto on my system, so I don't need to import it. And I set the width and height and the font size to be 1.6 rem, so 16 pixel. And I set the background color to be the off-white, which is this right here. And my container, I just set it to be text align center, and the main width to be 100 viewport height, and the width to be 80%. And then we're gonna start with our modal styling and the button right here. So if you want to take a minute to copy this one, you can pause and do it. So first, start with the button. Got a class called button. Give it a padding or 2 rem top and bottom, and 6 rem left and right. I set the display to be inline block. I set the background color to be my primary. So put the var and then the property name, and then the property name right here. If I save this is what we get. And now I set a text decoration none to remove the underline from the anchor element. Save this. I see it's removed. Then I'm gonna set a color for to be the off-white. As you can see, I'm gonna make a little bit around it. So I'm gonna set a border radius to be 5 rem, so 50 pixel. So make around it. So that's the button. Now let's start our modal itself. So I choose the modal class, set a position to be fixed, top to be 0, left to be 0, set the width and height to be 100%. And then save this. Now you can see it's on top of everything. I set display to be flex, justify content to be center, and then align item to be center also. So we center everything inside of it vertically and horizontally in the center. Now the image is too big, that's why it took over the whole thing, but I'm gonna style it also. So that's that. I think I'm gonna set the background color to be our primary background. So the primary background, the RGBA of this, it just take this value and we change the opacity to be 9% right here. It should be between 0 and 1, so it's set to be 0.9. So that's the background color. Set a Z index to be high numbers 15, so it's set on top of everything. I save this. Now you can't really see anything. Then go down, set a modal content underscore content. That's where the image is sitting, and I will set the width to be 90%. I set the max width to be 85 rem. So we want it to be with about 90%, but not more than 85 rem. So 85 rem, that's 850 peso. So if you have enough room, we can go all the way to 880 peso. If we don't have enough room, then we're gonna be 90%. I set a height of this to be auto, so the image inside of it can resize nicely. I set overflow to be hidden. Now you can see the overlay and the image is not showing. Now we're gonna style the image. So I'm just gonna grab this, copy it, paste. So image, grab the image inside of it, and say the max width to be 100%, and its width also to be 100%. Save this. Now you can see. Now if I try to resize it, as you can see, it resized nicely. As you can see. So that's that. And take a look at our final project. When we click it, it fade in and this animate in. So first thing, we're going to set the opacity of the modal. That's our overlay behind this. The opacity to be 0 at first. The visibility to be hidden. I will explain to you why we set up visibility to be hidden. We will save this. As you can see, if I didn't set the visibility to be hidden, save this. You can click here because the overlay is still on top of here. So you can click the button at all. You can select anything. But once I set the visibility to be hidden, then you can select the button, as you can see. And then we give it a transition. Those transition, say all 0.35 seconds, ease and out. So it goes away. Now I'm gonna say modal the active set up. Just grab these two, the opacity and the visibility to be 1 for the opacity and the visibility to be visible. So that's that. Now let's go to a JavaScript and make it work, and then we're gonna add the animation for the actual content. So I'm gonna open my JavaScript. It's empty. And then first thing, we're gonna grab this button. So say create a constant called modal button, which is called document, the query selector. And then we want to grab this button right here where this target. So I'm going to show you how to grab that. So I'm going to say button and then put the whole bracket and then put the attribute. So data targets. That's all you need to do right there. If I say cancel the log modal button, if I save this, if I open my console, 1 second, as you can see right here, that's the button. With this done here. Yeah, you see, that's the button right here. I'll close this one out. Now we're gonna create grab the actual modal overlay. So I say cons modal targets. And if you remember, our modal have an ID. First modal that is the same IDs. So we want to search for this ID based on this. So we can say the modal button, and then we're going to grab the value of this the target. So modal button dot data set and then we specify we don't have to do the write this whole data target. We can just write this part right here. So in this case, targets. So if I cancel like this, also Modal target, save it, open the console. As you can see, it gave us the value. So we now going to grab the ID, any element that had this ID. So I'm going to close this one again, and then we're going to create a constant called model. Now this will be the actual model, which should be equals to document the query selector, and this one we want to select an ID which had this value. So we're going to use our template literal. So to backtick, as you can see right here, we put the hashtag for the ID and the $sign into curly bracket, and then we're going to specify this right here, this variable. So modal targets. Now this is gonna grab any element with this ID. So if I cancel like this, dialog modal, save it, right click, inspect. As you can see right here, modal, first modal. If I take inside of it, we have this, as you can see inside the HTML also. So I'll close this one out and go back to the JavaScript. So I'm gonna hide this. Now we want to open this once we click on this button. So we say modal mod button, the add event listener. Now listen to the click event. I'm gonna run use the arrow function, passing an event e, and then first thing we're gonna say e that prevent before. The reason why we're doing the prevent before is once you click this, you can see it refreshes the page. Prevent before we stop that. So if I save this, it won't refresh anymore. So that's what prevent default is doing. That's why I pass this event right here. So all we have to do is just say modal, grab our modal, the class list, the add active. Save this. Now if I click it, as you can see, the class added. Now there's no way to get out of this. So we want to be able to close this if we click on the overlay or if we press the escape key on our keyboard. So like close it by clicking on the overlay. So we're going to go back down here and then grab the modal itself. Then we're going to add event listener. Then we're going to listen to the mouse up event. So once this mouse down, I let it go, that's mouse up. So we're going to run a function, an arrow function, we're passing an event e. Now it doesn't have to be e, you can put in whatever you want right here. And then first we're going to grab the target. So constant target. The target we specify what we click on. So I say e that target. So I say let's just cancel like this target. Save this. Right click it. See if I right click. It say we click on the model, as you can see. But once we click this image, it say we click on the image, as you can see. Now we want to make sure that we only close it when we click on the model and not the image or anything else. So what we will do is this. Say if our target, the class list contains the class model. Don't put this right here. Just put the class name. If our target had that class, then all we have to do, just the opposite of this. So model, the class list, that will remove active as a string, active right here. So I save this. Now let's try. Click it, it shows. Click here, nothing happens. But as soon as we click right here, it goes away. As you can see, shows, goes away. Show, click right here, nothing happens. But as soon as we click outside of it, it goes away. So that's for the mouse. Now we need to do for the escape key for the keyboard. So we go down here and let me write a comment right here. Save button opens modal. Mouse close modal. Now I'll say keyboard closes modal. So I say window that add event listener. This is the whole window. We listen to the key up event and then say passing an event E. We're gonna run the function. So let's log this E to see what kind of property it has. So I say console dot log E. So I will right click, open my console right here. Now on this window, I will start pressing keys and you will see I press the escape key first. As you can see, I press the escape key. It gave us, it said this is a keyboard event. Now this bunch of these, for example, we had a code, escape, we had a key, escape, key code, which is 27, all of that, and we had this one called which is 27, and we had a type, which is key up. So we want to work with this key right here. During the tutorial I was using this, the which, but it's deprecated. So if, let me show you. If I say e the which, as you can see there's a cross, and if you read right here, say which is deprecated. So that's why we're gonna be using this key. The key code also is deprecated, so we just gonna use key. So let me just close this. Let me just save again, and like right here and the escape key, let me press the shift key. I can see shift key space, all of this. So that's what the key up does. This is key down, but as soon as I release it, that's key up. So I would say if, but we only want this to work when the modal is open. So I would say if the modal does not have the class active, we shouldn't run the key up event function. So I say modal the class list that contain active, then we're gonna return and just put exclamation mark right here to make this whole thing negative. So if the modal does not have the class active, we're gonna return. So this key will return. We've stopped the entire function, nothing underneath here will work. So if I just say cancel the loud E right here. It will not work. I'm pressing the escape keyboard and my stuff, it won't work. But as soon as I click the open and stop pressing, it's working. Escape key, space key, shift key, everything is working because now the modal had a class active. If we take a look, see it had a class active. So whether let me close this right here. Say if E, that key, as you can see, is equal, triple equal, quotation escape, then all we have to do is just grab the modal, the class list that removes active. That's all. So let's try that. Now I'm going to press the escape key and remove it. Click it, escape key, remove it. Click it, click on the stuff, remove it. Click it, click here, nothing. It's not removed, but as soon as I press the escape key, remove it. Now let's add an animation like this. So let's do that. So let's have it open right here. Now inside of CSS, we go to the modal content, put this, and then we're gonna add few stuff. Say transform. Let's transform. You say perspective. I put the 100 right here, so 1000. And I say rotate X to be 15 degrees. Let's save this. As you can see, it's slanting on the X axis. If I put this to be small number, like 10, as you can see, it looks a little bit weird. It will look like it's so far away. But the higher the number, the closer it looks to you. But the smaller the number, the further away it looks. That's why I put this high number. Now, we set the X to be 15. Then we're going to say rotate Y to be negative 35 degrees. Say this. Nice. Slanted this way on the Y axis. And then we're going to scale it down. Scale to be 0.85. We save it. And then I'm going to give it a transition. Or say 1 second. Ease and out. And then we're going to give it a delay. So make sure this completely fading before this animation starts. So transition delay be 0.3 seconds. By default, these are 0.35, we just say 3. So it doesn't take forever. Save this, as you can see. Now, once this model have the active class, we want to animate this. So I said I'll grab this. Now here, say model active, and then can grab the model content right here. So what we want to do, just bring this one back to 0, 0, and 1. We need a perspective to be 100 RAM and this to be 0, Y 0, and the scale to be 1. If I save it, as you can see. Now let the animation begin. So if I click it, as you can see, press escape key, it goes away. Click this, as you can see. Press on the image, nothing happened, but press on the overlay, it disappears. So that's it. And it's very It will look very responsive if I can see it will reset nicely. Click, click. So that's it for this week tutorial. If you're now already done so, I would appreciate it if you like and subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. We're more than happy to help you. Thank you again for watching and have a great one. Bye.